Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Rhonda Farrell, your CEO of Global Innovation Strategies, bringing you week 40 of Spotlight on Success, the final quest, building the bigger, better, bolder enterprise. Today, we're going to be talking about aligning people, systems, and purpose to drive a massive value. We've arrived at week 40. You've clarified your vision, refined your systems, strengthened your leadership, and built momentum that's no longer fragile. It's foundational. Now it's time to build your bigger, better, bolder enterprise and the better life that comes with it. Because sustained success isn't about more hustle, it's about alignment. The right people and the right roles, driven by shared purpose and emotional engagement. So this week's focus is all about the people equation. Every great enterprise begins and ends with people. If you want scalable growth, you must first get the people equation right. Everything else follows. So here's our lens for this week. Right people. We need to get the right people on the right bus, in the right seat, going in the right direction. And the first thing we need to do is assess the people either you've inherited or the team that you have built out. Are they contributors? Are they coordinators? Are they strategists? Do they execute with excellence? Do they connect systems, people, and priorities? Do they shape the vision and translate it into motion? So you need to map your team and yourself against these archetypes. Where are the gaps and where are the growth opportunities? These are just three high level. If you want to dive deep, try looking at Belbin team model. 9 team members across the grid. You find over, under, and you find the organizational dissonance that occurs with all of those issues, as well as where those team members fit best across the life cycle. Are you looking for people that spark and start and are agents of change? Do you want someone that's going to be on the tail end to operate and maintain? Or do you need someone across the life cycle to orchestrate and coordinate? This is how you build your team, with intentionality and knowledge of the different models that you can use so that you can gain exponential success in this area. Next, once you've got the right people, you need to look at and test for right fit. People change over time, your organization morphs over time, technology, process improvements, automation, the rate of change is tremendous. And you need to make sure that you have people in place with the right skills and competencies and capabilities, but also that are in alignment with where you're going, right? So a great example of this is Vishen Lakhiani. He has the 3 most important questions. You can do this at the organizational level, or your management team level, or your SME level. What you want to do is find out what's most important to them across these 3 factor areas, understand if that melds up into the organizational view, and rearrange if at all possible, right? So what we want is every day, not only the what's in it for me and what do I want to achieve, but everybody else in the organization rowing in the same direction, in the same cadence. Because if I know you want A, then I can make sure I'm bringing A to the table with every single interaction that I have with you. If we know the enterprise wants A through Z, then all of our team members, we can not only be there for one another and be of service to one another on their success journey, but the organization and enterprise writ large. This is a fantastic way, again, to map against the overall factors that the enterprise is looking to get with regard to results and outcomes, to see where you have overages and or gaps. So another construct you can use and another tool for your toolkit. So ultimately, alignment is gold, and we can evaluate fit across position, that's more competence related, around culture, the values and communication style, the mission, or do we fit into the shared purpose, and the leadership team fit, trust, flow, and chemistry, all are important. Then next, we need to ascertain engagement level. So the right level of engagement, because talent without emotional engagement, it's just completely underutilized potential. What you need to do is ask, what percentage of my team's emotional energy is fully engaged? Darren Hardy has done studies with his hero's journey construct, where he and his team have researched just 25% at max, 25% emotional engagement max is usually where your team's rates at on the scale. And it's our function to capture their hearts, and thus their excellence will follow. So how can you engage that additional 75% of their emotional energy to maximize the outcomes, results, and that culture building so that everyone can maximize their success? Next, assess enterprise maturity. And this is going to differ as you move along your organizational journey, but there's a couple constants, right? Where first is understanding how many different phases have we plotted in on our grid to move through. So we may be emerging, then moving to developing, then moving to established, and then moving to something like optimized. There are multiple models, maturity models that you can use. Enterprise maturity, process maturity, CMMI, Baldrige assessments, innovation assessments, other assessments, such as we were talking about before, where you're looking at employee engagement, etc. Typically, you want to use more than one. Why? Because it examines the multiple facets of the diamond that is your enterprise. So we would suggest about three to give you a more holistic look at your overall enterprise maturity, so that you can rack and stack what they're telling you with your people, process, technology, and policy model that you're going to be using going forward to, again, optimize your success. So what are our categories when we're looking at assessing our enterprise maturity? We want to look at people and education. We want to look at customer service and delivery. We want to look at testing and measuring our capabilities there. We want to look at our technology. So a couple data points in people and education, maybe ad hoc and reactive training, and that might be emerging. Established might be there are skills and capabilities mapped out to our strategy. In the customer service and delivery area, if we were to look at developing, maybe we would call that consistent. But if we were looking at it from an optimized standpoint, we would call those transformational. In our testing and measuring, if we go back to emerging, that's going to be sporadic. But if we go up to our established, that might mean we are integrating dashboards on a regular basis so that we can understand where we're at and where we are with regard to our end goal, right? So what is actual versus expected and what's the delta? And not only that, are we going up or are we going down with regard to achievable? And lastly, technology. So if we look at developing, that may be automated systems put in place to support your enterprise maturation journey, and optimize might be smart adaptive ecosystems enabled by AI and machine learning. So your goal here is not perfection, but it is progress with precision. And that's why putting in place the data-driven enterprise maturation is so important. So what do we do here? Well, we identify one gap in each of these 4 categories. We build an action plan, and then we close the divide. And then we take on the next most important, and next most important, and next most important maturation opportunity. So really, this is about a leadership quest. And underlying that is the build out of trust and empowerment of our broader team, because leaders in this stage of the journey are no longer just managing operations. They are architecting ecosystems for the long term. So what you need to do is ask yourself and your teams, what systems must we evolve to sustain this momentum? Or even yet, what would we need to do to 10x to 25x? What habits or mindset must we release to scale more effectively? And lastly, how can we create more capacity for innovation, for impact, and joy? Remember, the end game isn't control, it's empowerment and trust building. You're building a business that works because of the people that you've selected, not in spite of them. So our challenge this week is to take 1 hour to map your enterprise growth opportunities. Identify one system level gap that's limiting performance. Match it to one growth opportunity across policy, people, process, and technology. Create one quick win initiative for measurable progress over a 30-day time period. And lastly, share your insights with us at #spotlight-on-success to inspire others on their journey, but to tell your success story. So in reflection, which areas of your enterprise are thriving and which are merely surviving? How do you want to rack and stack and prioritize those to action so that you can exponentially scale forward? Where are you trying to do too much alone versus with your trusted cadre? And who are your next A-level players that you need to elevate and or attract? This is an ongoing cycle. Your people are there for a certain time period as they move through their needs cycle and as they add value to your organization. Use due care, grow the heck out of them, and most of all, align, empower, and support. So how can you drive massive value with your clients and customers through smarter systems and stronger teams? An enterprise doesn't grow because you add more stuff, assets, or people. It grows because of the strategic alignment and optimization of those components. So as you step into this next stage of your enterprise journey, remember this: the bigger, better, bolder enterprise is not built from ambition alone, but from alignment, courage, and the contribution of the many. So lead with clarity, build with purpose, and deliver with impact. Because when you do, you don't just grow your enterprise, you grow everyone that's involved. This is Dr. Rhonda Farrell bringing you week 40 of the final quest, building the bigger, better, bolder enterprise.